second baseman Jace Young for the Foresters, coming in the midst of a quickly put together 30-game season. And they are here just for today. And then I believe, Dennis, if I'm right about this, they're on to Wichita.
They are indeed.
I think in another. So they are here for just one day, a couple of games, and then on to the road. And tomorrow night, we will have another game here on SoCal College Sports between the Bucs and the Pirates. So they will go back to their head-to-head matchup, which has seen them play already a few times here in the tournament. A ball and 2 strikes on Young. Noah Cardenas will be up next against Mason McGarvey, the left-hander for the OC Bucs. Swing and a miss, and down goes Young. Well, I got to tell you, I'm no math major, but that's 8 straight strikeouts for Mason McGarvey going back to his last outing.
And that's pretty impressive, striking out McLean and Young to begin this ball game.
Yeah, this is unbelievable stuff. I mistakenly mentioned Ricky Tiedemann a moment ago, and this is starting to seem like mirror images of each other. We'll see later tonight when the Pirates take the mound how Tiedemann fares. But McGarvey in a tournament of great pitching up and down these rosters. Has anybody been any more impressive than Mason McGarvey? This is unbelievable stuff. No balls and a strike on Cardenas.
Cardenas plays at UCLA. He'll be a junior there.
Not that he's needed it, but McGarvey has Castillo in left, Damon Keith in center, and Cole Pofek in right. Misses low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Around the infield, Cameron Rapetti at third, Harrison Spahn at short, J.J. Cruz at second, Nick Hansen at first, Austin Schell behind the plate, replacing the injured Eric Bigani, and Mason McGarvey on the mound. Here's the 1-1. Cardenas hits this one on the ground to second. Cruz there over to first to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for McGarvey in the first. We're through half an inning at the Best of the West tournament from San Bernardino, brought to you by Future Events Group. Bottom of the first from San Manuel Stadium in San Bernardino, the Best of the West tournament. The Santa Barbara Foresters taking on the OC Bucs And the Bucs will begin with Damon Keith, followed by J.J. Cruz and Harrison Spahn. First pitch swinging and line to short where McLean is there to retire Keith for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out for the pitcher, right-hander Kyle Luckham for the Foresters.
So that's pretty efficient, Jeff.
Yeah, he can keep his pitch count down.
You want to do it in this heat. That is for sure.
Yeah, we are back to week 1 temperatures here. I think we were triple digits. Luckham ready, and the first pitch is outside to J.J. Cruz. 1 ball and no strikes on Cruz. There you see Cruz, one of the many, many players here for this tournament, also playing ball at Cal State Fullerton. That brings a lot of players. Chopper to first on the short hop. It's Bossier, and he will take it to first for the out. So 2 up, 2 down quickly for Luckham.
Yeah, that's a nice play down there at first. It was kind of a tricky hop for him. Stayed in front of it. Made the nice play. Took it himself for out number 2.
Yeah, couldn't really decide whether to charge that one or wait. Ends up making it a tough play, but short hops it nicely. And that'll bring up Harrison Spahn, who has been impressive in this tournament, swinging a hot bat. And he is in the 3 spot against Luckham. 2 down, bases empty. First pitch in there for a strike. And this will be, I suspect, Dennis, this will be a fairly tough assignment for the hitters here today. This might be somewhat advantage pitcher. I think these teams don't have a lot of experience seeing these pitchers, if any at all. Can't say for sure in travel ball who might have seen who. But first look, perhaps, and you have to expect that the pitchers are going to have an advantage, at least initially. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count now on Spahn. Trying to set the defense for you for the Foresters. Pat Caulfield in left. Casey Dykstra in center. Ryan Holgate in right. As Luckham is up on the rubber, here's the 1-2. Curveball and it's chopped foul. Christian Encarnacion at third. Matt McLean at short. Jace Young at second. Brandon Bossier at first. Noah Cardenas behind the plate, and Kyle Luckham gets the start on the mound. First of 2 today. And we'll have the Ivy Pirates in action against these same Santa Barbara Foresters tonight. Inside, and Spahn able to foul it off and stay alive. And talked about Spahn being impressive at the plate. We don't have official statistics being kept from the outset in the showcase event, but I don't think I'm wrong about this one, Dennis, and I know you've seen a lot of Harrison Spahn this weekend, and he has swung the bat very well.
Counted for a lot of extra base hits. Did he go?
And did he go? They're going to appeal down, and he did. So Spahn down on strikes. 3 up, 3 down for the Bucs in the bottom of the first. We're through 1. Just underway, the Bucs and the Foresters at the Best of the West tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, brought to you by Future Events Group. Nice shot. It'll be Bossier, Encarnacion, and Holgate for the Foresters in the second inning against Mason McGarvey. Had a 3-up, 3-down first with 2 strikeouts. First pitch and a wave and a miss from Bossier.
Yeah, I thought McGarvey was very impressive in that first inning, especially with a lineup like this. You look McLean, Young, Cardenas, and now Bossier, who's got some pop in that bat.
Yeah, you look up and down this Forester roster, and much like the Bucs and the Pirates, and arguably more so, it's all D1 talent. We're talking about players all playing Division I baseball, so this is an extremely talented team, and certainly a sizable feather in the cap of McGarvey to have such an impressive first inning. We'll see how he does here in the second. He's way in front of Bossier now, no balls and 2 strikes.
Let's see if he goes right after him, or perhaps see if he'll chase one outside the strike zone.
Here's the 0-2. High heat, and he gets Bossier.
Wow.
And we saw some highlights from the performance against the Waves, and we might be able to bring that up. I don't know if Mike Cepeda has that ready. Maybe we'll see that at some point in the game, but we had some highlights of that performance, and the location, Dennis, was unbelievable. On 2 strike pitches, McGarvey just hitting the glove without it having to move even a centimeter. It's really impressive. No balls and a strike now on Encarnacion, the third baseman. There is Christian Encarnacion.
What's the old adage? It's not how hard you throw, but it's the accuracy and where you throw it.
I mean, yeah, when you can hit the glove without it having to move, you've made a pretty good pitch. Encarnacion, an interesting story coming out of Yavapai College in Arizona, where he was nothing short of ridiculous at the plate over 2 seasons, hitting up over 400 with 33 home runs, and now he's on his way to Oklahoma State this upcoming season. But I got to believe that he is going to make the Yavapai College Hall of Fame. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count now on Encarnacion.
Shell looks to be shaken up behind the plate. I don't know where that caught him.
And it's getting a little thin back there. We referenced the injury was to Eric Begani, who's not available today for the OC Bucks, who was hit by a foul tip on his arm. And so now it's Shell back there, and you see that Shell handles that one somewhat awkwardly on the left arm, and they'll take a look at him. But, yeah, it looks like he is holding that wrist, and now they'll take a look. And, well, you can't afford too many injuries back behind the plate for the Bucks.
Jeff, getting back to Encarnacion for just one moment. Before the season was halted, and this is just a short sample of games, he hit 11 home runs, 33 runs batted in, and was hitting .430. That is remarkable. I mean, talking about a quick start, a fast start.
Well, yeah, as you see the replay there, and it looked like it hopped up and just over the glove and onto that wrist, and couldn't really tell if it was there or if maybe it got a little bit of the thumb. It looked like they were looking in that area. But, well, no big surprise here. Shell's a catcher. He's tough. And he's going to stay in the game, it would appear. And so they'll let McGarvey throw a few pitches and see if Shell can go on. But, boy, never underestimate the toughness. That's a tough job back there behind the plate.
First team back alley.
So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Encarnacion. And, yeah, to go back to the 400 over 2 seasons, and well, that's how you get on the radar of Oklahoma State, I guess. And so he will no doubt look forward to that challenge, which will be significant, playing ball for the Cowboys at Oklahoma State. A swing and a miss, and that one popped out. Did Encarnacion get a piece? It looks like he did manage to tip that ball, so he'll stay alive.
Also lost his batting helmet. Sorry,
yeah,
Jim.
Almost, there you go. Wow.
Trying to make it 1-0, wasn't he?
That's a great job on the shot there as that ball came up and knocked the helmet off. And I think for Encarnacion, it's a little bit of good fortune there. That ball maybe a few inches south, and it gets him somewhere on his head, and maybe it's a different story. So he is okay, retrieves his helmet, and he's ready to go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. McGarvey with a long look. Now he's ready. Here is the pitch. Goes to the breaking ball, and Encarnacion down on strikes. They'll throw down to complete the strikeout. And McGarvey. And once again, all you can say is, wow. That's 5 in a row retired, 4 on strikes.
Completely fooled him, going after a pitch in the dirt.
Well, you have to respect the fastball, and to go back to the point that you made, it's not just the velocity on it, which is there, but it's the location. And right now, he is just painting corners, and he does so there on the first pitch to Holgate for strike 1. And sometimes when a guy is really dealing out there, you just wonder what the hitters can do. Off speed, misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike on Holgate. And Ryan Holgate at the University of Arizona, where he started every game in the shortened season as a sophomore. And he was off to a fast start here in 2020 with a .377 average at the University of Arizona before the season was halted. Here's the 2-1 from McGarvey. Holgate swings and bounces this one to second. Over to first to retire the side. McGarvey, impressive again, 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the second inning from San Bernardino at the Best of the West tournament. Here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, no score, the Bucs and the Foresters. Kyle Luckham back on the mound for the second inning, where he'll face Chad Castillo, Nick Hansen, and Christian Kirtley for the Bucs in a scoreless game. Castillo stands in from the left side. Luckham ready. Here's the pitch. And the fastball low. 1 ball and no strikes on Castillo. Castillo over at Cal Baptist. Swing and a miss. Good fastball from Luckham. And a ball and a strike the count. And you see Luckham over at Cal State Fullerton as well. So you wonder if somebody's maybe seen Luckham before, because we've seen a few players from Cal State Fullerton. Interesting going over Kyle Luckham. One of the things that caught my eye. Does some charity work in his spare time with a special needs baseball program, which I thought was pretty cool.
Absolutely, making impact on and off the field as well.
Well, one of the things you see in the showcase is that so many of these very talented players, yes, are there are some among them that are trying to stay in the game and continue in the game professionally, but so many also see baseball as part of a greater whole and part of plans in their life that go well beyond the game as well. Meanwhile, Luckham gets the strikeout on Castillo. And here is Hansen. Well, we're still looking for our first hit.
Well, the first game I called today, we didn't have a run until the 6th inning.
Yeah, this is going to be a quick one if we if this keeps up. A pitch in there for a strike. And there is Hansen. Let's see, Hansen playing his ball at Grand Canyon University. Swung on and lifted to left center. Dykstra on the run, looking up. This is going to one-hop the wall. Hansen into second. He thought about third, but he's going to hold up with a stand-up double. Well, there you have it. All I had to do was mention it, and there's our first hit. And watch here is Luckham a little too much at the plate, and there's Hansen getting the arms extended. Over there near that 410-foot sign over in left center. It's 410 to straightaway center, but Hansen found one of the deeper parts of the ballpark there, and that might be the only thing that held it. So runner at second, one down, and Kirtley will be the batter. Luckham from the belt. Off speed inside for a ball.
Yeah, Jeff, you mentioned the dimensions of this park. 330 down the lines, 410 to straightaway center. We've only seen 3 home runs in this tournament. We've seen a lot of extra base hits, a lot of doubles and triples.
Yeah, we've seen some carry into the alleys and balls getting to the track, but it has been something of a challenge to get one all the way out. And right there, Hansen hit that ball about as well as you can hit the ball. And it didn't quite get out. Meanwhile, time called before the pitch. So a ball and no strikes will be the count on Kirtley. Kirtley over at UC Santa Barbara. And my memory is we didn't see Kirtley much for the first weekend or two. I think he has come into the fold more in the last few games for the Bucs. 1 ball and no strikes. And Luckham misses again, and now he's down to the count 2 balls and no strikes. Cole Pofek waiting on deck.
First time we're seeing Pofek in this tournament. Week 4. Plays at UC Riverside.
Squibb toward first, and Bossier will go to Luckham covering for the out on the play. Hansen advances to third, so 2 down, a runner at third, and here is Pofek. And Pofek gets the call in right field today, and as you mentioned, Dennis, first appearance of the weekend, and not altogether unheard of, but also a couple of injury issues for the Bucs as well, so spot does open up as well. So head coach Chad Cordero will shake things up a bit. So Pofek with a chance here. And he fouls the first pitch away for strike 1.
Pofek struggled his first 2 years at UC Riverside and was hitting .258 as a junior.
1 ball and 1 strike, and it's interesting to look at. You know, we've looked at a lot of players playing a couple of seasons, and you see sometimes the players struggle initially and then seem to pick it up in that second season, and that's what you would expect as you adjust to a new level, get used to a new level of play, and you see that talent start to rise again for the players as they find their way. And then sometimes you see the exact opposite, where they come in and there's initially some success and then a little bit of a sophomore drop off, and that happens sometimes as the other pitchers start to adjust or the hitters start to adjust to what you're doing, and then you see that game of adjustments in baseball. So it can be a little bit unpredictable for the players in both ways. A wave and a miss, and Pofek going to be down on strikes. They'll throw him out to retire the side. The Bucs threaten but come up empty. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We head to the 3rd inning. No score between Santa Barbara and the OC Bucs. It's the Best of the West tournament here from San Bernardino, brought to you by Future Events Group. Top of the 3rd inning, it'll be Sean McClain, Casey Dykstra, and Pat Caulfield against the new pitcher, Alex Schreier, for the OC Bucs. Did want to quickly mention, very quickly, something that we neglect to mention, but we do want to make sure that we say, and that is, want to pass along special thanks from SoCal College Sports to Scott Buckley, who has provided the music that we use during our broadcasts as well. So we certainly appreciate that and want to recognize the work done by Scott Buckley. No balls and a strike the count. Hit on a line. 1 hopper towards second, and Cruz not going to be able to do much with this one, and McClain is aboard, and you got to figure that's going to be an infield hit for McClain. That's a well-hit ball by McClain, and Dennis, you mentioned between innings as well. If that name sounds familiar, Sean McClain, Matt McClain, there's a reason for that. Brothers on the team. And not just in the way that they get along really well. I mean, we mean literally that the brothers are on the team. So McClain at first.
Matt goes to UCLA, Sean Arizona State, so a brother rivalry now. Another familiar name now stepping in the batter's box, Jeff.
Casey Dykstra. Yeah, I mean, I that name is probably pretty familiar, not just to a guy who's a big 80s, 90s guy like you and me are, but in true, Casey Dykstra, the nephew of former major leaguer Lenny Dykstra. 12 years in the league. Mets and the Phillies.
Yes.
2 balls, no strikes, and that one chopped foul by Dykstra. And it caught both of our eyes, I think, when we were looking at that Dykstra is also a pitcher. He's in the lineup today, but does a good amount of pitching as well. But true of the Dykstra name, he's where he belongs in center field here today for this one.
And a left-handed hitter as well.
3 balls and a strike. So Dykstra will be followed by Caulfield, but the Foresters have the leadoff hitter aboard. Here as we are in the top of the third. Fouled away again.
Lenny was a gamer, wasn't he?
Not afraid to get the uniform dirty.
Yeah. 86 Mets, 93 Phillies in the World Series.
Yeah. How easy it is to forget. And that was I remember that was a breakout kind of year for him as well. I know he hit for a lot more power starting in that year as well. But he was an MVP candidate for much of that season. Had a very fast start in particular. Lifted to center. Keith under it and has it for the out. Dykstra retired for out number 1. McLean will retreat to first, and Caulfield will be the batter. Mentioned Schreier out of Cal Santa Barbara. The new pitcher for the Bucs, and Caulfield will be the batter. And there you see Pat Caulfield. One of many players on the Forrester roster playing his ball at UCLA. So there's a Pac-12 rivalry here. We've seen some players, certainly from USC on the Pirate roster, but also University of Arizona sprinkled in as well. So Pac-12 well represented. But you see UCLA up and down this roster.
Jeff, we've seen enough rosters now. This is the 4th week of the tournament. I think we can safely say that the Foresters roster is the most talented one that we have seen so far.
Yeah, I think when you look at the Bucs and the Pirates, you see a lot of similarity, but just the consistency of the Division I and upper Division I in terms of sophomores, juniors, more prevalent even on this team. So it's a little more experienced team as well. There goes the runner, the hit and run on. Line drive into right. Pofek there for the out. He'll throw it back to first, and they got him.
Boy, that is
so the 9-3 double play to retire the side. We'll give you a look at this one as we head to break. Caulfield lines it hard, but it turns into a double play for the Bucs through 2.5. Still scoreless. The Foresters and the Bucs, the best of the West tournament from San Bernardino on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Brought to you by Future Events Group.
Sorry, I thought you were right, and I was going to try.
Kyle Luckham out for the 3rd inning for the Santa Barbara Foresters as you get a good look at the beautiful mound here at San Manuel Stadium. And Austin Shell will be the batter. It'll be Shell, Rapetti, and Keith. And not to worry, we're getting to some trivia before the before the day is over. We are locked and loaded. You never run out. So Shell will lead it off. And it's good to see Shell out there and still in the game. Took that scary shot off the wrist, and like that's all right. And looked like they rubbed some dirt on it, and he's ready to play.
Good old-fashioned rub some dirt, spit on it, and you're good to go.
Right. Well, you got to be used to that if you're behind the plate.
Oof. On a day like this, 105, 106 degrees, all that gear on. You're going to lose a few pounds behind home plate today, aren't you?
First pitch, lifted foul and out of play. No balls and a strike. Yeah, I got to believe it's still a little bit up over 100 right now, mid-afternoon. I know we were up at 100 a little bit earlier in the day. And that brings its own challenges with it, a ball and a strike. The count now on Shell, who just got out of the way. Let's take a look at the replay on this one. It just looked like a breaking ball that got away. And foul back to the screen, and I'm getting the word here that the temperature is 104. Is that right?
I believe so. I was talking to head coach Bill Pintard from Santa Barbara. He goes, we just came from there. He goes, we're a bunch of wusses. We're not used to this heat. I said, no, you're from a beautiful part of the country. You're not wusses.
Few are. And that is called strike three, and Shell down on strikes. And while we're talking about some of the Buck pitchers, and with good reason, and what they've done, meanwhile, Kyle Luckham has quietly put together 2 1/3 innings of scoreless pitching here for the Foresters. Allowed just the 1 hit, no walks, and he struck out 4. So that's a pretty good pitching line for Kyle Luckham. And that'll bring up Rapetti. A little bit shorter lineups here is the decision by all the coaches. These are going to be, while this is still a showcase event for these players, these ones are going to play a little bit more like a game. If there's a pinch hitter here, the player replaced will be removed from the game. They're going to go with a shorter lineup, 9 for each team, as it's now no balls and 2 strikes. There will still be some movement in the field, so we'll try to keep up on that as best we can as the players move around between innings from time to time and take new positions. But other than that, a little more of a standard game feel here for the 3 teams involved, the Santa Barbara Foresters, the OC Bucks, and then later tonight, the Inland Valley Pirates.
Well, Jeff, you mentioned it. We're only hitting 9 in the lineup. We've seen as many as 15.
15, I believe, is
as 11, 12. 11 to 12 seems to be the standard, but we have seen as many as 15 here in this tournament.
And maybe a little bit more time on the mound in our discussion with Charlie Reynoso a little bit earlier today. He is starting with Ricky Tiedemann, and when asked about the length of the outing for Tiedemann, he did say that he'll look to stretch him a little bit. He's going to see if he can push him a little bit, maybe give him a little more time on the mound. Swing, and just a foul tip as Rapetti stays alive.
Quite a rip by Rapetti.
As Luckham went up in the zone, and Rapetti had a cut and just got a piece. Here's the 1-2. Low and away. Luckham into the line. Here's the 2-2. And again, Rapetti fouls it away. Another familiar theme for this tournament so far. Pretty good hitting with 2 strikes. We've seen some great pitching performances as well, but some great battles. A lot of these hitters do a great job with 2 strikes, managing to fight off pitches, keeping at-bats alive, working at-bats, and have gotten some pretty good looks out of it eventually. On the ground to short. McLean over to first for out number 2. And Luckham continues to cruise.
Jeff, just to follow up on your thought, we've also seen a lot of hitters get the green light on 3-0 in this tournament as well.
And as we thought, in a showcase event, you want to try and give some sense. I have the feeling that you want to let the players hit the ball a little bit when they're here. And a lot of scouts have been here, and certainly we will have as many scouts here today and tonight as at any point in the tournament with these teams playing. So a lot of eyes and an opportunity for these players in front of a lot of scouts, and I give them an opportunity to make something happen. No balls and a strike on Keith, who lined to short on the first pitch, his first time up. Off speed, lined into right, a base hit over the outstretched glove of Young at second. So Keith with a 2-out single. And the Bucs will try to get something going. And J.J. Cruz will be the batter. He grounded to first his first time up. Kyle Luckham, one of those players, getting back to something we were talking about before, in that camp of players that have certainly improved in their second season as he misses with the fastball outside for ball one, an ERA of 5.37 in the 2019 campaign at Cal State Fullerton, excuse me, and then an ERA of 2.52 with a record of 2-0 in the shortened sophomore season at Fullerton. So he was picking it up. There goes the runner, the throw down, and the tag. They got him. Keith gunned down at second to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Through 3, no score. The Bucs and the Foresters here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. When we come back, Dennis Ackerman will take you through the middle innings here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. It's down to 2. Final play of the third quarter. Blitz coming, but Tari is swallowed up. Oh, meanwhile, Smith lost the handle. Bilella for 3. It's good! And Gusto now will rise up from the 5-meter line and score!
That's a terrific ball, and it's up. See if he does. Shot is up. And
No!
Baker hits! But it's on the ball.
No!
Top! Kenny Moore! Wow!
And now it's McCauley who can finish it out. And he gets the ace.
Wilson, here comes the rush. Wilson on the reception, another touchdown for Tariq Wilson.
Pass centered up. Great read by Unke. Outside Cruz. Tools it.
Looking for Larod down the near side, who's got it inside the 5. And that's victory number 48 without a loss. And
OTC, your champion in 2019.
To it. The end of a tough year, San Diego State, and once again the Hawks soaring over all they survey.
We have a new champ. It's Fullerton College.
Top of the fourth, no score. Foresters and the Bucs. Jeff, good old-fashioned pitcher's duel through the first 3. Except Schreier just hits the leadoff man, Matt McLean.
man, you wonder, that is not the player that you want to put on McLean with good speed. You get the leadoff man aboard. And to your point of the pitcher's duel, we're looking at 1 or 2 runs maybe getting the job done here. There's a lot of pressure on the pitchers.
That'll bring up Jace Young. 0 for 1, strikeout victim his first time up. Playing a pretty good lead over there at first. Alex Schreier on in relief of Mason McGarvey. McGarvey was very impressive. Went 2 innings, didn't allow a hit or a run. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 4.
It's a good cut from Young, and it should be. And looking over at his Young, drafted number 8 overall by the Texas Rangers in the 2019 draft. So this is a real prospect.
Texas Tech Red Raider runner goes, throw down to second is not in time. Miller got a fantastic jump on that, and he stole that off the pitcher Schreier.
Yeah, no chance behind the plate for Shell.
Now it's 2-1 on Jace Young.
Look at that. McLean even had time to look back at the catcher, look back at the box, and he still was in there easily. That's when you know you got a good jump. 2 balls and a strike now. I'm sorry, the count.
Runner at second in scoring position. Swing and a miss by Young. Evens up the count now at 2-2. No score, top of the 4th. Foresters no runs. They have a hit, no errors. Bucs no runs. They have 2 hits, and they have not committed an error either. Right-hander checks the runner. The 2-2. And he's run it full. Normally I'd say a number 2 hitter is just looking to get the ball to the right side to advance the runner to third, but not Young. He's looking to drive that run home. Payoff pitch. Walked in ball 4. Well, Jeff, you don't want to mess around with this lineup as Noah Cardenas will now step in 0 for 1, grounded out to second. He steps in with McLean at second, Young down at first.
Well, it's not going to get any easier up and down this lineup for Schreier, and you certainly want to stay away from the big inning if you can, but a hit batsman and a walk to get things started, and Schreier's really dug himself a hole here.
Cardenas takes the first pitch. A fastball misses down low, 1-0. Cardenas, UCLA Bruin.
Yeah, 11 starts this season behind the plate. 237 average, but how about the on-base percentage of 367? So good discipline at the plate.
Slow roller hit towards third. Step on the bag for 1. Throw across the diamond. It's a double play. Cameron Rapetti with a nice play. Stepped on the bag at third to get McLean the lead runner. And a nice throw to Hansen at first. Cardenas hits into the 5-3 double play.
Yeah, this is, to me, one of those classic plays that Rapetti makes look easy. But he's coming on the ball. It's not hit very hard, but you got to come up with that ball cleanly, find the bag, then make the good throw, and Rapetti does it beautifully. And that is just what the doctor ordered if you're Alex Schreier.
So a 2-out Brandon Bossier steps in, 0 for 1. Struck out to lead off the top of the second. Swings at the first pitch. Hits it into the alley. Nobody's going to get to this one. Coming home to score is Young, and it is 1-0. And Bossier is going to try for 3. Here's the throw, and is not in time. A 2-out RBI triple for Brandon Bossier.
And just to look at this one, and out over the plate, and Schreier gets it up. And for Bossier, turns on it, rips that one to right center, ends up at third with the triple, and the Foresters get on the board.
1-0 top of the 4th. Encarnacion. Good rip at the first pitch, fouls it straight back. It's 0-1.
Yeah, it's a good piece of hitting by Bossier in that situation. I think he's Schreier, you're feeling good. You get the double play. Tries to get out in front of Bossier. Maybe get out in front in the count and be able to work to Bossier, and Bossier ready, goes up their first pitch, swinging, finds one to hit.
Spawn. Side retired. Put out goes 6-3. Foresters, they pick up a run. They do it on 1 hit. There were no errors. 1 runner left aboard. Head to the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Santa Barbara. Bottom of the fourth, and a new pitcher on for the Santa Barbara Foresters. It's Blake Adams, number 28. Attends University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, playing his college baseball in the SEC. He will face J.J. Cruz, Harrison Spahn, and Chad Castillo, 2, 3, and 4 in the Bucs lineup.
Yeah, short season for Adams, just 4 appearances, 2 starts, 2 in relief for Arkansas.
Kyle Luckham, Jeff, was very impressive. 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 4.
And leaves with the 1-0 lead.
Cruz is 0 for 1. Now he's 0 for 2. Bossier will take it himself.
Yeah, good contact for Cruz, but right at Bossier, who's had a busy day over at first.
That'll bring up the shortstop, Harrison Spahn. He's 0 for 1. Fastball misses away, 1-0. Bucs are coached by head coach Chad Cordero. Outstanding relief pitcher during his time. Played with the Expos/Nationals. Also had a cup of coffee with the Seattle Mariners.
I was not aware of that. Was the Seattle stint, was that before Montreal or was that at the end?
At the very end. 2010. Pitched for the Expos. Those great uniforms. Guy of the 80s, you got to love the Expos uniforms.
I said, see, that's not fair. By 2010, I was still living back in the 80s.
1-2 on the shortstop, Spahn. 0 for 1, a strikeout victim in the first. Can now even up at 2-2. Blake Adams in relief of Kyle Luckham. 1-0. Foresters lead the Bucs here in the bottom of the fourth. First of 2 for the Foresters. We'll see them again at 6:30, taking on the Pirates. Line to third, and 2 gone. Encarnacion takes care of Spahn.
Another well-hit ball. But this one right at Encarnacion. So the Bucs, in addition to having some trouble with the good pitching from the Foresters, a little bit of bad fortune, as well as 2 down and bases empty.
Managed just 2 hits through the first 3 2/3 innings as Chad Castillo steps in. Batting cleanup, he's 0 for 1, also a strikeout victim. Adams starts him out with a fastball strike, 0-1.
And that's that good fastball, a little bit below the knees, that we have seen called for a strike really throughout this tournament.
Nick Hansen's on deck if Castillo can continue the inning. That one's fouled back out of play. Quickly down in the count, 0-2.
And I think that is one that Castillo wouldn't mind having back. That was right about belt high with that breaking ball, and I think Adams would like to bring that one down in the zone a little bit, but ends up as a foul ball, and now Adams way out in front.
Right-hander into the wind is 0-2. Fouled away. Well, Jeff, we talked about earlier, and I think you're saying that the hitters right now are behind good pitching. We're seeing some outstanding pitching here through the first 4 innings. We'll see if the hitters make some adjustments along the way, or if the pitching will continue to dominate in this one. Stayed upstairs, now 1-2.
And if the news isn't bad enough for the hitters, the pitchers going those shorter stints, so they're going to be fresher, but also you don't get that second or third look at the same pitcher every time you're coming up as a hitter in this kind of format. It's going to be against a new pitcher.
Down on strikes is Castillo for the second time. That'll do it for the Bucs here in the fourth. They go in order, and we head to the top of the fifth. It is 1-0 Santa Barbara. Christian Culpepper is the new pitcher for the Bucs. He takes over for Alex Schreier. And Jeff, you can close the book on Schreier. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Walked 1, didn't strike anybody out.
See how long the Foresters can make that 1 run stand up.
Culpepper will face Holgate, McLean, and Dykstra, 6, 7, and 8 in the Santa Barbara lineup. Holgate is 0 for 1. He grounded out his first time up.
Yeah, Holgate, interestingly, a lot of power at the University of Arizona back in 2019. 7 home runs on the season. So don't be fooled. Holgate can take you downtown.
He goes opposite field with this one. But Castillo there for out number 1. So McGarvey got the start. He went the first 2. Alex Schreier went the next 2. And now Christian Culpepper, a right-hander, 6'3", 193. Plays his college baseball at Cal Baptist.
And McLean with the base hit his first time up.
One for 1. The 0-1 to him, fouls it back.
Sean McLean, among the players, no doubt most excited to be here at the tournament at Arizona State this season. Got into just 1 game, so he has seen very little action, and no doubt very excited to be back here and playing ball again.
Finds himself in a quick hole, 0-2. Lays off, takes it for a ball. It's now 1-2. Casey Dykstra waits on deck. Santa Barbara has a run on 2 hits, no errors. The Bucs, no runs. They also have 2 hits, no errors. And now even up 2-2 on the number 7 hitter in the lineup, Sean McLean.
Well, it's close here for our fluid, dynamic player of the game category, which changes at all moments. But I'll give you my early pick as Bossier right now with the good game in the field and the RBI triple. But of course,
a long way to go.
As we say, it's a dynamic stat. So we're not finished yet.
Full count now on the designated hitter, Sean McLean. And the payoff pitch from the right-hander Culpepper. Hit down towards third. Rapetti has to back up. Long throw. It's a high one. And Hansen can't handle it over at first base.
Well, we have our first scoring drama, I would say.
I got to think it's an error. It's a throwing error. I think a good throw would have got him.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with your call. Yeah. I don't think there's any question there that's one that I think Rapetti makes far more often than he doesn't.
So E6 as McLean's aboard at first base. 1 gone. That'll bring up Casey Dykstra, the center fielder's 0 for 1. He flied to center. Big hole on the right side of that infield with Hansen holding the runner on at first. Swings at the first pitch. Big bouncer towards second. Over to second for 1. On to first and a double play. Nice 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. The error does not come back to haunt the Bucs. Bottom of the fifth, 1-0 Santa Barbara. Nick Hansen, Christian Kirtley, Cole Polfick trying to get something going offensively. They've managed just 2 hits in this one, Jeff.
Couple of threats. In fact, with Hansen and Kirtley at the plate their previous time up, the Bucs did get a runner as far as third with 2 down, but came up empty that inning.
That one's going to get back out of play. Hansen has one of the 2 hits for the Bucs. A 1-out double. Was eventually stranded there back in the second inning. Blake Adams on for his second inning of work for Santa Barbara. Retired the side in order in the 4th inning. And the 0-2. Out straight back, had a good cut at that one.
You see the depth and the breadth of this team, the Santa Barbara Foresters, with a number of players from the Texas, Arkansas area on this team as well. So not just local.
That one in the dirt. The Big 12 and the SEC is represented very well on the Santa Barbara Foresters roster for head coach Bill Pintard. Here's the 1-2. Checks his swing. Did he go around the appeal? No, he did not. That'll even up the count at 2-2.
Yeah, the stat that catches your eye, the 7-time National Baseball Congress World Series champions. And you know, I don't care what the event is or where it is. If you've won it 7 times, you're playing some ball.
2-2. That's a called strike 3. Second strikeout for Adams. First out here in the bottom of the 5th. And that'll bring up Christian Kirtley, who's 0 for 1. Rounded out to first.
That's a great job as you catch the tail end of that replay of mixing it up from the outside corner and back inside to get the called third strike. Really froze Hansen with that fastball on the inside corner.
Right-hander steps in. 1 out, nobody on. Breaking ball from Adams is a beauty in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
4 1/3 innings and not a single walk issued, and it's tough working against good pitching when they're not giving you any free base runners.
That ball's hit well to left. Caulfield going back on. He's not going to have a play. It's up against the wall. And cruising into second is Kirtley with a 1-out double.
Well, Kirtley gets all of this one and nearly takes it out. And we'll see the replay, and Adams with the breaking ball, and it's up in the zone on the inner half. And I think if you're Adams and the Foresters, you're feeling a little lucky that this ball didn't get out, as it was off the wall on the fly. And so for Adams, an opportunity still to get out of the inning with the runner still at second.
And the right fielder, Cole Polfick, steps in. He is 0 for 1, struck out his first time, making his Best of the West tournament debut. Adams taking a long time. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at second. Kirtley in scoring position represents the tying run. The 1-1 in there for a strike. Now 1-2. It's only the second time today the Bucs have had a runner as far as second base. That was Nick Hansen back in the second. He was eventually stranded there.
Yeah, he did get to third, but Polfick struck out to end the inning, and history repeating.
So now 2 gone. Third strikeout for Adams. And that'll be up to the catcher, Austin Shell, to see if he can deliver Kirtley home from second with 2 gone. Shell's 0 for 1, struck out back in the third.
It's not quite opening night for the Pirates when they hung the 15 strikeouts on the Waves, but Forrester pitching now up to 7 strikeouts in the game.
Shell swings at the first pitch, and that's going to fall into right field, and here comes Kirtley to score, and we are all tied up at 1.
Well, there's a little bit of good fortune for the Bucs, as it looked like Holgate was fooled initially off the bat by this one and started back. and ends up not being able to get there. This one drops in a perfect spot. Just too long to go. Kirtley alertly off on contact with 2 outs and scores easily.
Now we're going to have a pinch runner for Shell. Michael Marsh is going to come on and run for him.
Michael Marsh, who had been seeing regular action, but off the bench in this one with the shorter lineups for these matchups.
Marsh with the lead from first. Rapetti takes it first strike. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out to short. Bottom of the 5th, all tied up at 1.
Dynamic MVP, Dennis. Maybe this changes things. Now we're tied at 1. It's always shifting.
Patty fouls that pitch off. Now he's down in the count 0-2. And if you wonder if he's going to maybe try to shoot one through the hole over there on the right side of the infield with Bossier holding the runner on.
It's a massive hole as Young is cheating over toward the bag, more up the middle at second base.
Adams comes set, and the 0-2. Once again, fouled off. The 0-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Well, Adams strikes out the side. However, he does give up a run. Allows 2 hits. There were no errors. 1 runner left aboard. We have played 5 complete. Santa Barbara and the Bucs all tied up at 1. Top of the 6th. And Pat Caulfield trying to bunt his way on, Jeff. We haven't seen too many bunts in this tournament, but one right there.
Well, with base runners at a premium, let's see if that affects Rapetti down at third, who's still a little bit behind the bag, but maybe he will inch in now that Caulfield has showed him the bunt.
Swing and a miss, took something off, 0-2. Caulfield will be followed by top of the order, Matt McLean, and then Jace Young. 9-1-2 in this Santa Barbara lineup. Brand new ball game, all tied up at 1. Top of the 6th. Christian Culpepper delivers, flied into center field. Shading his eyes, and now making the grab out there is Damon Keith for out number 1. That play might have been a little bit tougher than it looked.
They all are in the outfield. Out here, as we've talked about, the setup here at San Manuel Stadium, and that some of the players have seemed to struggle on high pops, high fly balls throughout this tournament, though it has gotten better as we've gone on, and they've become more accustomed to the surroundings.
That'll bring up the leadoff man, Matt McLean. He's officially 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and eventually cut down at third base, and he's also struck out.
I noticed that Matt McClain played all of his freshman year out in center field and then moved for his sophomore season and has played all his games at shortstop. And I'd like to lobby for that to forever be known as a reverse Robin Yount.
I'll give you credit. If anybody ever brings that up, I am giving you full credit.
You don't see it very often,
Well,
but I think in homage to the great player, should be called a reverse Robin Yount.
Milwaukee Brewer great. Here's the 2-1 to McClain. So, Jeff, let me ask you, he's a natural shortstop, and then making that transition from short to center, do you think that perhaps maybe affected him at the plate his freshman campaign? Because he did not hit well. Then he moved back to short, and he was off to a torrid start his sophomore campaign before it was ended.
I'll tell you, I think that's a great point. I don't think you can ever really know for sure, but as he drives this one to right.
That's going to be off the wall. He's going to try for 2. Here comes the throw. It is not in time. It's a 1-out double for Matt McClain. Now he's in scoring position. Boy, he hit that ball well.
Well, and it really speaks, as you watch the replay here, to the power to all fields. He almost takes this one out the opposite way. And it shows you that McClain is a threat at any part of the plate. And shows the good speed to make it to second standing up. But to finish your point, it's an excellent explanation because, the average was down just over 200 his freshman year and then up just under 400 his sophomore year. So this isn't just improving. He took a quantum leap forward in that sophomore season.
And he's an outstanding prospect. He was the 25th pick in the 2018 Major League Draft. And he turned the Diamondbacks down to go to UCLA.
And interesting, the lineage for Matt McClain. His father played football at UCLA, to the question of perhaps why he might elect to follow and go to UCLA. His mother, an All-American in softball and volleyball. So this should not be regarded as any kind of big accident that Matt McClain is playing major D1 ball.
Jace Young is officially 0 for 1. He scored the only run of the game for Santa Barbara. He also struck out. RBI opportunity right now. Matt McClain represents the go-ahead run. 1-1, top of the 6th. That one's low. Gets away from Shell, but not far enough for McClain to try to attempt third base.
A lot of pressure on Shell here with the speedy McClain at second. And getting that extra 90 feet could be so big to getting the go-ahead run across.
The 2-1. Line past the diving Rapetti. That'll be in the left field for a base hit. McClain had it hold up at second, so.
Yeah, McClain needs to let this one go through before he can make a move, so no chance to come home. And starting to get the sense of the dynamic daily double at the top of this Forrester lineup with McClain and Young, now a combined 2 for 4, and they've been on base 4 out of 6 plate appearances.
Okay, I must ask you a question. I know you are an 80s guy. I know you are a Cubs fan. Daily double is a Cubs reference. I cannot let that one slide, my friend.
Are you referring to Bobby Dernier in front of Ryan Sandberg? Of course that was on my mind.
Noah Cardenas steps in. He's got runners at first and third, 1 out. Cardenas, the cleanup hitter, he's 0 for 2. He's hit into a double play and also grounded out to second.
Last week you asked me who my favorite Cub player was, and I had a hard time because there are a few possibilities. But if I had to pick one, I might pick the daily double. I love that Dernier-Sandberg combination.
That ball's hit into right field. Over the head. No, an absolutely great catch by Pofick. Now, McClain, did he tag up or did he leave early? If he tagged up, he scored awfully quick.
Let's see if they try, but this is just really alert base running by Matt McClain, because he knows that whether this ball is caught or not, he's going to score easily. So the correct play for him is to make sure he gets back to third. It's no loss. If this ball ends up dropping in, he's going to score with no problem. But he's back at third, and rather than being caught off, as you see the shot here on the replay, you see that McClain has alertly gotten back to third where he would come home then and easily score the run. That's just a great play on the base paths. Great coaching and a great play by McLean.
But how about the catch in right field? I almost said over his head.
Unbelievable.
He snags it, a leaping grab. I mean, that might have scored Young from first base as well.
And how about this? Cole Pofek, well, we're talking about how this has proven to be a difficult environment for new fielders coming here. This is Pofek's first game. He made the great catch earlier on the double play ball, now makes another highlight reel play. This is a phenomenal performance by Pofek out in right field.
Brandon Bossier, 1 for 2, RBI triple and struck out. Count even up at 1-1. There you see Pofek making his Best of the West debut. And he's made quite an impact there in the outfield.
Yeah, we'll see how this game ends up going down the rest of the way, but that's a potential game saver right there by Pofek.
Hit off the fist, a little looper to short, and Spahn makes the play for the final out here to end the top of the 6th. Santa Barbara picks up a run. They do it on 2 hits. There were no errors. 1 runner left aboard. Head of the bottom half of the 6th. Santa Barbara leading it 2-1. Bottom of the 6th, Damon Keith, J.J. Cruz, Harrison Spahn. Against new pitcher, left-hander, Ian Churchill out of the University of Arizona, Jeff.
Just finished up his junior year, a 3.09 ERA and 11 2/3 innings. Spent the first 2 years of his college ball playing at Santa Barbara City College. Interesting fact about Ian Churchill, loves 80s music. Well, I have to say,
wow,
who doesn't?
Right up your alley.
Hey, it's not just me.
Damon Keith is 1 for 2. He singled. Line to short to begin the bottom of the 1st.
Yeah, thrown out, trying to steal on the single. A strong peg from Noah Cardenas behind the plate.
And he's on with a 4-pitch walk.
Well, that is not exactly what you want to be doing if you're Ian Churchill, on with a 1-run lead. And you promptly put the leadoff man aboard.
That brings up J.J. Cruz. He is grounded to first twice, 0 for 2, and he's got a nice hole on that right side, and he handles the bat extremely well.
Yeah, he's grounded out to first his first 2 times up, so he's been able to pull the ball his first 2 times up and see if he can shoot for that hole on the right side.
Keith represents the tying run. Decent sized lead over at first. Cruz takes the first pitch in there for a strike, and he's down in the count 0-1.
Well, we'll see how aggressive Chad Cordero is. As we mentioned, Keith thrown out trying to steal his first time up, and does Cordero elect to roll the dice here again and put a runner in motion?
Churchill taking a long time, now delivers the 0-1. That is a fair ball. Down to second, and that's going to be a double play.
Yeah, 3-6, and that's a great job at first base by Bossier, who continues to play an outstanding first base in the field.
So Keith quickly erased, now 2 gone.
Yeah, this is a heady play by Bossier to go to the bag first. He knows he's got time with a good solid peg down to first, and left-hander down there at first base puts you in mind of Keith Hernandez.
That'll bring up Harrison Spahn, who steps in.
Well, we're talking about great fielding at first base.
2 gone, nobody on. Spahn's 0 for 2. He struck out. Line to third. Bottom of the 6th. Bucs trailing 2-1. Santa Barbara got 1 in the 4th, another in the 6th. Bucs' lone run came in the 5th inning. 2-0 on the number 3 hitter in the lineup. Chad Castillo waits on deck if Spahn can get aboard and extend this inning. Mentioned earlier, Spahn's got some pop in that bat. Two O's in there for a strike. It's now 2-1.
Looked like Churchill took a little something off on that pitch, and Spahn fooled, takes it for a strike.
Here's the 2-1. Now it's 3-1. So Spahn in the driver's seat. Santa Barbara has 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors. Bucs have a run on 4 hits. They've committed the game's only error. Churchill working out of the stretch even with no runners aboard. 3-1, had a notion, laid off, takes ball 4.
Well, now the double play looms even larger. It's just a runner at first and 2 down, and Churchill still just 1 pitch away from getting out of it.
Blake Adams went 2 innings for Santa Barbara, gave up 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. Castillo, big swing and a miss, down in the count 0-1.
Well, we know from direct experience that Castillo's got the power to take it out of here.
He is one of 2 players to homer in this tournament. He's actually, you could say he hit 2. 1 for sure. We thought he hit another one and ended up being ruled a triple. Chased the ball perhaps outside the strike zone. Now he's down in the count 0-2 with 2 outs. Churchill, the 3rd pitcher for Santa Barbara. Kyle Luckham got the start, then it was Blake Adams, and now Ian Churchill on in the 6th. The 0-2 from the lefty, nearly hit him. Throw down to first is out. They called him out.
Wow.
Let's take a look at the replay and see if that is indeed the correct call.
See if Bossier, the swipe tag. We'll get a good look from here. And, well, let's just say that was pretty close, but it looks from there. Well, when you can freeze it, it's no longer pretty close. That is pretty incontrovertible right there, and it looks like Spahn did sneak the hand back in there, but the Foresters get the call, and they're out of the inning.
That'll do it for the Bucs. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. We played 6 complete. Foresters still leading it 2-1.
New pitcher Brett Finnell, the right-hander, on for the OC Bucs as we head to the top of the 7th with the Foresters on top. 2-1. Finnell will work to Encarnacion, Holgate, and McLean for the Foresters. First pitch, Encarnacion swinging and lines this one into left for a base hit. Castillo over to cut it off, and Encarnacion will hold up with a leadoff single. Well, again, the Foresters being aggressive early in the count, going up there, swinging away to good effect as Encarnacion gets one out over the plate and has a leadoff single to get things going. That'll bring up Holgate, who's 0 for 2, grounded to second and fly to left. They'll hold him on with Hansen at first. So hole on the right side. This one cued foul for strike one.
Brett Finnell, the 4th pitcher of the game for the Bucs. Just trying to keep it a 1-run game at this point.
Holgate, one of a host of players who, after their freshman year in 2019 on this Forester team, elected to play summer travel ball after hitting .240 in his freshman year. And lo and behold, as he comes back for his sophomore year at the University of Arizona, he's batting .377 in the shortened season. And we saw that over and over again in our research of these players. A lot of them electing to play in the Cape Cod League, but playing summer ball and carrying that into their sophomore season and getting off to very fast starts. That one just outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Danger here for Finnell with the leadoff man aboard, and you can't let the Foresters with their pitching get too far in front of you as we move into the 7th inning, time running short for the Bucs. Lifted into left, down the line, and it's a fair ball. It is going to hop over Castillo and get into the corner. Encarnacion digging hard. They have him round third and send him home, and he'll score. So Holgate ends up at second with an RBI double, and Santa Barbara pushes it to a 3-1 lead. It's a little bit unfortunate for the Bucs as that one bounces off the dirt in the corner and hops up over Castillo, and that gives Encarnacion the additional time that he needs to score all the way from first. And now it's a 3-1 lead.
Well, credit Encarnacion for great base running, scoring all the way from first as Castillo had issues with it out in left field.
That'll bring up Sean McLean, singled and reached on an error. Finnell taking some extra time. Here's the 1-0. Fly ball center field. Keith on the run, but he's there and has it for the out. On the play, Holgate alertly back to second and tags up and makes it to third. So a runner at third now with 1 down. And that puts a little more pressure on the Bucs with Dykstra coming to the plate and a potential insurance run now just 90 feet away with only 1 out.
Well, that's a productive out by Sean McLean, getting the runner over to third base with less than 2 outs and putting him in scoring position for Casey Dykstra now.
And they will bring the infield in. Will the Bucs at all 4 positions, trying to hold the Foresters right here if they can, as they lead at 3-1 here in the 7th. Finn already kicks and delivers and misses with the fastball.
Jeff, I think Bucs coach Chad Cordero knows he's not going to get a lot more scoring opportunities, so you got to keep this at least a 2-run game at this point here in the 7th.
Outside with the fastball again, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, if you're Finnell and you're looking for some good news, obviously with first base open, you can work carefully to Dykstra. You also potentially bring the double play in if you do put him at first. So Finnell electing to work carefully and maybe see if he can get Dykstra to chase something out of the zone. Tries again outside, and Dykstra takes that one for a ball. So 3 balls and no strikes, and seen a lot of swing away here at 3-0, but let's see if Dykstra's got the bat on the shoulder. Fennel ready. At the knees for strike 1. The outfield back a couple of steps for Dykstra, but the infield in. The 3-1 pitch. Just outside. So Dykstra aboard. And now we'll see how the Bucs play on the infield with Pat Caulfield coming to the plate. And sure enough, they will back up the middle looking for 2. But they stay in at the corners. Here is Caulfield, 0 for 2. Well, if you're Brett Fennel, you'd love a strikeout here if you could come up with it, but the bad news, if you're a Bucs fan, is since the departure of McGarvey, not a single Forester batter has struck out in this one. There goes the runner. Hit and run on, and it's fouled away.
The very dangerous Matt McLean on deck.
Yeah, I think Caulfield is a must batter here. At the very least, you got to retire him. You certainly don't want them pushing this lead and then getting to the top of the order where it's McLean, Young, Cardenas, Bossier. It goes on from there. No balls and a strike on Caulfield. Fennel ready. Here's the pitch. Bunted in the air, and this is going to be an easy play for Hansen. The runners have to hold. And that is out number 2. Caulfield trying to put this one down, and Fennel. Good hard fastball up in the zone. And when you talk about productive outs, and for Caulfield, an unproductive out. And the Foresters now with runners at the corners now 2 down, and if you're Fennel, you get this guy here, and you're out of the jam with just 1 run allowed. I think the Bucs would take that.
You can tell Caulfield was disgusted with himself as he was headed back towards the dugout.
Off-speed pitch from Fennel misses again. A ball and no strikes on McLean, who's 1 for 2. He's doubled. He's also been hit by a pitch. So McLean with a chance to put an exclamation point on this inning if he can deliver here and push that lead out a little bit more. Meanwhile, Fennel in there with the breaking ball, and the count evened up at a ball and a strike. The 1-1. McLean takes that one low.
Jeff, you remember back in the 6th inning, McLean went the opposite field for his double.
Yeah.
And the big hole on the right side of that infield right now. Hansen holding the runner aboard.
Well, you definitely have the decided feeling if you're Matt McLean. He knows any kind of a base hit here will get the job done. He's thinking about getting that runner home from third, pushing this lead out. Pick off throw and the runner back. Holgate at third, Dykstra at first with 2 down. 2 balls and a strike, the count on Matt McLean. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Good fastball from Fennel. And get you another look at this one, and that's just a great pitch from Fennel on the outside corner, and McLean's going to have a hard time doing much with that pitch even if he gets wood on it. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away. And to our point earlier in the inning, McLean, summer ball, Cape Cod League, after the 2019 season, and then back with the absolutely torrid start to his 2020 season at UCLA. Another throw over. Hard to imagine that a runner's going to be on the move with McLean at the plate in this situation. Here's the 2-2. Got him. Fennell with the breaking ball, and McLean down on strikes. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left on base. 7th inning stretch from San Manuel Stadium in San Bernardino. The Foresters on top of the Bucs, 3-1. It's the Best of the West tournament brought to you by Future Events Group. Come in. Bottom of the 7th inning, new pitcher Steven Zobak, a freshman from UC Berkeley. On for the Foresters, he'll work to Chad Castillo, Nick Hansen, and Christian Kirtley, with the Stars leading it 3-1 over the Bucs. First pitch, a ball. Castillo 0 for 2, struck out twice. So Ian Churchill goes 1 inning. No runs allowed, walk 2. No hits allowed, no strikeouts. And he will hand it over to Zobak, who's down in the count, 2 balls and no strikes, and pumps a fastball in there for a strike. Zobak finished up his freshman season at Berkeley. 7 starts in the field as a position player, but 5 appearances in relief, so a two-way player. And fastball by Castillo, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zobak with a twin sister also playing softball at Cal. Back to the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, we mentioned the trivia. Dennis, I got to throw you a trivia question
It's
here.
time.
All right.
It's time.
All right. In my voluminous research, came upon this one. 2 players in the history of baseball are atop the list for most seasons with 30 home runs, with more than 30 home runs and more than 30 stolen bases. Most seasons in the 30-30 club. 2 players have each done it 5 times. Can you name the 2 players? Back to the screen. I'd like to give you one you could think about for a little bit.
I might know one. Might. 30-30 club. Oof.
5 times. And for a bonus point, one guy's done it 4 times. That's who's next. Back to the screen again for Castillo.
Yeah, I have a thought on one, and the other one I'm really going to have to think about.
Castillo back in there. Here's the 2-2. 2 2. 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2
Yeah, the Bucs have had the leadoff man aboard just once here this afternoon, and that was in the 6th, but Keith was quickly erased on a double play.
Yeah, until Churchill came in, it was no walks and 8 strikeouts from the first 2 pitchers. So the Foresters were simply making the Bucs do all of their own work to get anything done at the plate. Churchill did allow a couple of walks, but got the double play ball out of Cruz and got himself out of the inning unscathed. So it's a 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Swung on and missed, and Castillo down on strikes, and he continues a tough afternoon at the plate. Out number 1. And that'll bring up Nick Hansen, who's 1 for 2. Had a double back in the 2nd. Hansen delivered probably the hardest hit ball off a bat for the Bucs to deep left center field. One hopping the wall. Takes the pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Fastball in there for a strike. Again, this is a reminder, first of 2. It's a beautiful day for baseball. Let's play 2. Lifted into right center, moving up. It's Dykstra who's under it. Now misplays it, and it's going to bounce in. So Dykstra with a little trouble now. The throw coming in gets away, and Hansen makes it to second. So this may be the rare double error. I don't even think this is on one play.
Let's see how they score. I think it might be a hit. Does he ever even get a glove?
Well, he doesn't. No question about that. He moves up, and there you see on the replay, just kind of overruns it. So I don't know how they're going to end up scoring that, but they put this down as 2 errors.
Wow.
Well, there's one you don't see too often. But on the play, Hansen ends up at second, still only 1 out. And a gift here for the Bucs. And Kirtley coming to the plate, he's 1 for 2.
Well, Jeff, you remember earlier in center field, Damon Keith on a high fly ball in center field, he had to shade his eyes the entire time, and I just wonder if Dykstra lost that ball at the very end.
I don't think there's any question but that the sun sets behind the press box here in right center field. You could just tell by the difficulties that the players are having on the right side, particularly in right field, but also in right center. This one roped to left, but pulling foul. A ball and a strike, and Kirtley gave that one a ride.
Just trying to tie the game up.
Didn't have a double earlier. And just see the replay. And this one had the distance, but pulled foul. Off-speed pitch from Zobak in there for a strike. And now it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Kirtley disagreed with that call. They got to be up there protecting with 2 strikes.
Zobak checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Got him. Kirtley down on strikes. Zobak finishes him with the hook. And Kirtley might have been slightly incredulous about the pitch before, but he knew it on that one. And turn around and head back to the bench. There'll be another day. On the inside corner for strike 1. Well, now if you're Zobak, you really got to bear down. Should be out of the inning realistically, but the misplay out in center field, and it's still alive. But if you can get Pofek, they're out of the inning with no damage done. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball just misses outside. Count evened up and a ball and a strike. Pofek 0 for 2, struck out twice. And for those that might have joined us a little bit later on, Pofek has been scintillating in right field. A couple of outstanding plays. Grounds this one to second. Young will go to first to retire the side. A couple of errors, but nothing doing for the Bucs. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, 1 left on base through 7 complete. The Foresters on top of the Bucs, 3-1. It's the Best of the West tournament brought to you by Future Events Group. Brett Fennell back on the mound for his second inning. He will work to Jace Young, Noah Cardenas, Brendan Bossier. Heart of the order due up for the Foresters in the top of the 8th. They lead it 3-1. And there is a look at Fennell. Young's 1 for 2. He's also walked. Fastball outside for a ball. Also, Dennis still mulling over our trivia question. I'm sure he's got his first couple of guesses here. Most single seasons in the 30-30 club. There are 2 players tied in Major League Baseball history.
How about Ken Griffey Jr.?
You will be stunned to learn that Ken Griffey Jr. has had one 30-30 season in his career. I was very surprised by that. So I will give you what I'm sure you already know. That is not one of the correct answers. 2 balls and a strike. The count now on Young.
I know he did it. I don't know if he did it 5 times, but Jose Canseco?
No, he did not do it 5 times. He is the first for the 40-40 club, though.
Would Hank Aaron be one?
No, Hank Aaron's not in there.
Boy. 30-30.
3 balls and a strike. The count now on Young. Fennell into the wind. Here's the pitch. Misses high. And a leadoff walk issued to Jace Young.
One of my favorite players growing up. How about Andre Dawson?
Yeah, it's the 1987 MVP in Chicago. One of my favorites, too. No, it is not Andre Dawson, though. He did do it at least once. How many times might he have done it if his knees didn't go so bad?
Such a talented player.
Yeah, it's. I think he would have strung together a couple of more with the good knees.
And if I'm not mistaken, he is the only MVP ever from a last-place team, correct?
I know at the time he was the first to do it. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Cardenas, who's 0 for 3, but does have a run batted in. In there for a strike.
Jeff, I think you've got me stumped on this one.
Well, the one player that has done it is widely regarded as one of the greatest players in the history of the game. He's on the very short list and played in the 90s and into the 2000s. As Mike Cepeda weighs in.
I should have got that one, especially being from the Bay Area. Shame on me.
Barry Bonds is indeed one of them. And the other one is interesting and a little more obscure, but a player that you have definitely heard of. 2 balls and 2 strikes. One of those delicious ironies that I love in trivia.
Is it his godfather?
No. I know what you're thinking.
That was a great guess.
Of Willie Mays.
That's a fantastic
who actually
guess.
only did it twice. I was a little surprised by that as well. But this other player did it 5 times. But since you were on the right track, I will go ahead and let you know that it is none other than Bobby Bonds. So they kept it in the Bonds family. Each with 5 times. I'll tell you, let them tell you about that at the dining room table
Oh, my
sometime.
God. You never get a word in.
About how they own that category, and with good reason.
Jeff, I tip my cap to you on an outstanding trivia question. Well done.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes on Cardenas. And that one gets away from Shell. Can't quite come up with the handle, and Young is able to advance to second. Meanwhile, the count moves to 3 balls and 2 strikes on Cardenas. I don't know if he was going to be able to get Young anyway. But Shell couldn't quite get the grip. And so Young now at second. Still nobody out. We're in the top of the 8th. But the Foresters leading at 3-1. Coming up, the Foresters get a crack at the Inland Valley Pirates. We will have that game for you a little bit later on. Meanwhile, Cardenas with a walk. Fennell continues to struggle somewhat with his control. 2 on. Nobody out, and Bossier coming to the plate. And Fennell had a long 7th inning. He allowed a couple of hits and a walk. And he gets himself into a jam here in the 8th. With 2 on, nobody out. And Bossier, who's 1 for 3, with an RBI triple back in the 4th. Off-speed pitch misses for Fennell. A ball and no strikes. Misses with the fastball. Well, unlike Charlie Reynoso, who we have seen make a couple of trips to the mound to talk to his pitchers, I don't think we've seen much of Chad Cordero. This tournament, I think he obviously prefers to let his pitchers try to work themselves out of it, but it looks like Fennell is struggling pretty mightily out there right now.
That played dancing around on him there. He throws his strike, but you're right.
Yeah, good fastball in there for a strike.
Cordero, an outstanding reliever during his day. He wants those guys to just figure it out on their own out there. And you can almost take a basketball analogy when Phil Jackson used to coach the Lakers and the Bulls. He when his teams were struggling, he would leave them out there. He would not call timeout.
That is exactly what I was thinking, and I think there is obviously a very powerful lesson in there for pitchers that you have to have some self-reliance and be able to figure out some things on your own. It's not always going to be possible for someone to go out there and give you the blueprint for exactly what to do. And obviously it's great for temperament as well, to learn how to keep your emotions in check and work your way out of it. Here's the 3-1. Curveball in there for a strike, and that's a gutsy call and great execution from Fennell on a 3-1 pitch to go to the breaking ball and get it over for a strike. And the count full up now on Bossier, who is 1 for 3.
Mentioned you have a lot of confidence in that breaking ball to throw it on 3-1.
Payoff pitch, and he missed that one. So the fastball misses, and Fennell has walked the bases full. And now the Foresters eyeing an opportunity here to really break this one open, and now we'll have a visit as you see some activity in the bullpen for the Bucs. And I can't tell if that is from that angle. I believe that, well, I want to say it was Jacob Vargas, but it looked like a left-hander, didn't it, Dennis?
Looked like it was 22 down there warming up in the bullpen.
And that would be left-hander Sam Gomez. So that would make sense. And right now the Bucs trying to buy a little bit of time, and in an inning plus, it's been a long afternoon already for Fennell, but he has a Herculean task in front of him now with the bases loaded and nobody out. And the Foresters poised to really grab control of this one. They already lead at 3-1. And the batter will be Christian Encarnacion, who's 1 for 3. Singled and scored his last time up. So bases full. Here's the pitch to Encarnacion. First pitch swinging and a drive to center, but playable for Keith. Has it in front of the track. This will be plenty deep enough to score the run, and both remaining runners also advance. So a sacrifice fly for Encarnacion. Great base running again for the Foresters as they were able to advance 90 feet. It's runners at second and third with 1 out, and the score now 4-1. Well, no big headline here, but I think you have to be very impressed, not just with the talent, but this is obviously a very disciplined and well-coached team under head coach Bill Pintard. And again, not exactly a news flash, but you see evidence of it. The pitchers around the plate not issuing a lot of walks. Great job running the bases as well. Fastball for Finnell in there for a strike to Holgate, who's 1 for 3. He doubled his last time up.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. Instead of runners at first and second with only 1 runner in scoring position, now they have a pair. And quite frankly, a base hit here could blow this one wide open.
And the fastball for Finnell outside a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Holgate. Finnell working in his second inning. He's the 4th pitcher of the afternoon for the Bucs. Lifted into left, and it's going to drop in for a base hit just over the head of Spahn. The runners had to hold to let that one drop in, so on the play, Cardenas comes home with another run, and it's now runners at first and third, still only 1 out, and the lead is now 5-1, and just a little good fortune as Holgate muscles that one out into shallow left. And it's an RBI single, and we will have a pitching change as the Bucs will go to Gomez. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Foresters leading at 5-1. You are watching the Best of the West tournament here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, brought to you by Future Events Group. New pitcher Sam Gomez, the left-hander, on for the Bucs. inherits runners at first and third with one out, and he'll work to Sean McLean, who's 1 for 3, a base hit back in the third inning. So Gomez ready. Here's his first pitch, and the fastball high. Well, I think in this one, a solid ball game on both sides for both teams, but you see one of the major differences here, the control on the mound. The walks have been a big storyline in this one, and Bucs pitchers have struggled periodically in this one with control. And that has furnished the Foresters with a couple of extra scoring opportunities, which they have now made the most of in taking the 5-1 lead.
Yeah, they have 2 runs so far in this inning on just 1 hit.
A ball and a strike to count on McLean. And coming up in a little bit, a chance for Dennis to gain some redemption with another with another trivia question. one that I suspect you're going to do pretty well on. Not to put the pressure on you, but I like your chances on this one.
You know what? I missed badly on that first trivia, but I give myself a little credit for picking up your daily double reference.
my daily. Hey, listen, if you could pick up one of my references, you have found something pretty obscure. Fastball low, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Jeff, how long did the 2 years those guys lasted at the top of the order? Was it 84,
Sadly,
85?
it might not have even really been that. Dernier really started to have injury trouble in 85. He was there, I want to say, through 87, but never quite was able to stay in the lineup as routinely as he did in 84. Breaking ball, got him on strikes. McLean down. Gomez on and picks up a big strikeout for out number 2. And watch here. That is just great location, and McLean completely handcuffed. And now with 2 down, the batter will be Casey Dykstra, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. So Gomez left-hander to left-hander. Breaking ball misses outside. And it looks to me, unofficially as I watch, that looks like a slider from Gomez. Here's the 1-0. Back to the fastball, and it's high and tight to Dykstra. 2 balls and no strikes. Caulfield would be next if Dykstra can keep it alive. We're in the top of the 8th. Gomez ready. 2-0 pitch. Fastball called. Strike. Sam Gomez on to Cal State Fullerton after a stint at Citrus College. At the knees, called strike 2. And in that time at Citrus, or I should say at Cal State Fullerton, in 2020, a 1.37 ERA for Gomez, averaging a little over 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. So he has made the jump nicely. Here's the 2-2. Gas. And he got Dykstra on strikes. Gomez comes in and puts out the fire in a big way. But in the inning, the Foresters push across 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base heading to the bottom of the 8th. The Sturs on top of the Bucs, 5-1. You're watching the Best of the West tournament from San Bernardino, brought to you by Future Events Group. New pitcher right-hander Sean Mullen on for the Foresters to work in the bottom of the 8th to Austin Shell, Cameron Rapetti, and Damon Keith. 8-9-1. First pitch in there for a strike. To Shell, who's 1 for 2. The base hit his last time up. Shell with the lone run batted in for the Bucs against this tough lineup of Forester pitchers. In on the hands and a bouncing ball to short. McLean will go to first to retire Shell for out number 1.
And Jeff, it's interesting. We see another pitcher working primarily out of the stretch, even with nobody aboard.
Yeah, first couple we didn't see, but it looked like I believe Churchill was working out of the stretch. Rapetti will be the batter. He's 0 for 2. Let's introduce our next trivia question. This one came by Corey Rubin, our assistant director, producer.
So I know it's going to be a difficult one.
Here, yes. He has also scoured to find the challenging question. In the 1995 World Series, there were 6 players that eventually were enshrined in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Playing in that series.
Okay.
How many of the 6 can you get? See, I say how many, because I know this isn't going to be 0. I mean, I know we're going to get a few here.
Well, we know Smoltz, Maddox, Glavin.
Right away, he's off to 3. I'm impressed.
Chipper Jones.
That's 4.
And then they played the Indians that year. Oh boy, I'm trying to think of the Indians.
110 wins that year against 44 losses.
So that's 4 out of the 6, okay.
Inside, and that did get a piece. So Rapetti hit by the pitch, and the Bucs have a base runner with 1 down here in the 8th.
Got him right. Got him in the elbow. That's got a smart.
Yeah, see what looked like a slight change of direction. And Rapetti, great job on camera, replay. In there for a strike to Keith, who's 1 for 2 and he's walked.
Jeff, Sean Mullen was selected in the 2018 Major League Baseball draft by the Colorado Rockies, 35th round. How many rounds is the baseball draft? Do you know off the
That's right about the sweet spot. I think it's like up over 50, isn't it? I think they keep going for a while.
It's 5 now. It's 5 this year.
Oh, did they find? Okay.
What? Now we'll never have the 47th rounder who
No.
goes on to be in the Hall of Fame. That
Well,
was
Mike Piazza, right?
that was maybe the best part of the baseball draft.
What round was Piazza taken in? Do you remember?
30 something. A ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, as a favor.
Quite a favor.
That ended up working out.
I don't know how you repay that favor.
Mullen, incidentally, had been lights out at UCLA. There's the gas. Blows it by Keith and gets the strikeout for out number 2. Just in case you're wondering about the relative groove of Sean Mullen in 9 2/3 innings in 2020. 5 hits allowed, walked 6, struck out 10, an ERA of 0.93. After, wait for it, Dennis, playing summer ball in the Cape Cod League. It's going to end up being quite an endorsement for the Cape Cod
It
League
is.
when they come back. No need to thank us. 2 down. Cruz will be the batter.
I have been to Cape Cod, but I did not attend any summer league games there.
Well, there's got to be something else to do. What's that?
I'll say 47.
That's like 30, 36.
No, 62nd?
Wow. Wow. 62nd round. What kind of basketball player do you think could be taken in the 62nd round, Mike?
None. None of the above.
Out of UC Riverside, 6'10", Mike Zapata. No balls and a strike to count on Cruz, who's 0 for 3. Mullen ready. Here's the pitch. Foul back. So no balls and 2 strikes quickly on Cruz. 4 Braves down for the trivia question. You've done well.
Yeah, I got 2 more.
2 more to do. Rapetti away from first. Mullen from the belt. There goes the runner. Swung on and missed. And Cruz down on strikes to retire the side. So Mullen hits a batter, but the Bucs can't do anything with it. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base, heading to the ninth, with the Foresters on top, 5-1. You are watching the 2020 Best of the West Tournament on SoCalCollegeSports.com, brought to you by Future Events Group. Gomez back out for the ninth for the Bucs, and it'll work to Pat Caulfield, and then the top of the order, Matt McClain and Jace Young. First pitch misses away for a ball. We understand that Dennis Ackerman is prepared to move forward on the trivia question. He has correctly identified the 4 Atlanta Braves players that went on to the Hall of Fame that played in the 1995 World Series. And now he's ready to move on.
I'm so anxious I cut you off.
With the Indians, Jim. 2 balls and no strikes. Let's have it.
Jim Thome at first base.
Jim Thome, that's it. Very impressive.
Okay, here's the one I think I've got, but I'm not sure. I'm going to say the second baseman, Robbie Alomar.
That is a great guess, and actually it is not Robbie Alomar. Well, actually, I'm not sure was on that team.
He played for the Orioles, the Blue Jays?
I think he was there in 97,
okay.
But I'm not sure he was there in 95. I could be wrong about that, but I think, wasn't Baerga still on that team, Carlos Baerga?
He might have been yeah. Okay.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
So maybe it was. Just trying to think who the Indians catcher was that year. Thought it was Alomar.
Jammed him on the infield, and it's Rapetti moving over to retire Caulfield for out number 1. This is good location for Gomez, who has been impressive since coming on to relieve Fennell. He's retired 3 straight, striking out 2 of them. And now it's McClain, who's 1 for 3. A double back in the 6th. He's also been hit by a pitch. Gomez into the wind and misses outside with the fastball. And there is a look at Matt McClain. The 1-0 from Gomez. Breaking ball high.
Jeff, I might need a little help for that last one. I mean, I feel good about the 5, but
okay.
Can I get a small hint? Is that legal? Is that allowed?
It is absolutely allowed. Otherwise, I would never get a question right. 2 balls and a strike. The count now on McClain with 1 down. Trying to think of what the one would be. Well, he played much of his career with another team. He was only on the Indians for just a year or 2.
Would it be a catcher?
It is not a catcher.
Hmm.
He also played a lot of designated hitter for the team. Right there with Tomey. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I am perplexed by this one. I might not be able to offer up anything.
Yeah. I can give you another hint if you want to. It's good. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This was I think the tough one. Although ironically, for some reason that I cannot understand, it was the first one that popped into my mind. But that is not because it was somehow the most relevant. Here's the 3-2 to McLean. Lifted into right center. Keith on the move. He'll get there. And has it for out number 2. So McLean retired. 2 down, bases empty. And that'll bring up Young, who's 1 for 2 with a couple of walks. He's perhaps most famous for some great seasons with the Baltimore Orioles. And he played with the Indians late in his career, so he's with the Orioles before.
Yeah.
Breaking ball in there for his
I
strike.
cannot take credit for it, but I think we do have the answer.
Was it Bell?
It's not Albert Bell.
Oh,
It's not Joey. Sky high on the left side, but drifting out of play.
Jeff, I officially waved the white flag.
It's Eddie Murray.
Oh, my goodness. He was on the 95 Indians.
Yes.
Wow. From Southern California.
Yeah, played some ball with the Dodgers and then eventually with the Mets.
Yeah, Southern California native.
Here is the 0-2. Cold strike 3. Gomez finishes off the Foresters here in the 9th. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Santa Barbara on top, 5-1. You are watching the inaugural Best of the West tournament from San Bernardino on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Brought to you by Future Events Group.
I never would.
New pitcher Nick Proctor takes over, the 6th pitcher of the game for the Foresters, and he will try to finish it out here in the bottom of the 9th, with Santa Barbara leading it 5-1. He'll work to Spahn, Castillo, and Hansen for the Bucs. First pitch and the fastball in there for a strike to Spahn, who is 0 for 2. Walked his last time up.
Jeff, you mentioned the sixth pitcher, and none of them have missed a beat coming on in relief. They've been lights out. Holding this lineup, the Bucs lineup, to just 4 hits.
Well, excuse me. It is as advertised. Just a very deep and solid roster from top to bottom, and every one of these guys, as you go up and down, playing their major college ball right now, and just what you would expect, good stuff and good command. And their ability to get the ball over consistently has put an awful lot of pressure on the Bucs, and they have themselves now 3 outs away from what would be, what I can only guess, is another win for them in this season.
Jeff, I'm sure our audience is very familiar now that you are a huge Cubs fan, so let me ask you this, my friend. First Cubs game you ever attended at Wrigley Field?
And a huge 80s music fan, too. That's that one often gets overlooked. No balls and 2 strikes. It was in 1977 that I have any recollection of.
So obviously a day game. No lights back then.
No question about it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll tell you, in cleaning out, at one time, when I was cleaning out a closet, I happened upon a program from the game. This is how I know when it was kept by my dad, who sadly has passed away. It was a while ago, but it was quite the find, and I still have it to this day. It's something that I treasure. But that is how I'm pretty sure that's one where I was there, and I don't know. It's possible I was there and don't have much memory of it, but I believe 1977. Would have been it. And I'll tell you what, one of the most fun things to look at in a program like that is the prices of things.
Oh.
And the time is like
sticker shock in a good way, right?
I mean, I believe, like a hot dog was like $1. And I mean, it was just crazy to see. And there's other little kind of treasures on something like that when you have something that's, from a different generation. I understand now how archaeologists get excited about things. as I uncovered this artifact from 1977. 1 ball, no strikes. Bumped up left side. Encarnacion under it and has it.
That's a real nice play over at third.
Went there. Hey, Mike, he went with the basket catch there. Do you think he's going to get the major league treatment when he comes back? Don't ever do it again?
Was that Derek Thomas used to make him like that out in center? Do you remember Derek? LA native Derek Thomas basket catches were number 30 for the Dodgers.
Derek Thomas? What time? What year are we talking about?
Late 70s.
Darryl Thomas?
Darryl Thomas. Beg your pardon. Thank you for correcting me.
2 down. And Hansen, the batter. Well, let's correct that because this is a pinch hitter. Up at the plate. It is Nick Hansen.
It is Nick Hansen.
I don't know why I have the wrong number down for Nick Hansen.
Don't you have 11? He originally, I think they put him in as 11, but that's not correct.
Okay. That explains it. As the pitch high and inside, and Hansen just able to get out of the way. So the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. On Hansen. He's 1 for 3, didn't have a double. And the breaking ball just outside. And there you got a good look at something of the sidewinder motion of Nick Proctor, which no doubt can be tough on right-handed batters. Here is the 2-1. Just from the side, a wave and a miss. So now the Bucs down to their final strike. A reminder, we will rejoin you. First pitch of our final game between Inland Valley and the Santa Barbara Foresters set for 6 o'clock. Cold strike 3. Proctor fans Hansen, and that'll do it. It's a final. Santa Barbara, a 5-1 winner over the Bucs. And they will be back in action at 6 o'clock tonight against Inland Valley. We hope that you will rejoin us then. For everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, once again, the final score, Santa Barbara 5, the OC Bucs 1. Thanks for joining us. So long, everybody. We'll see you at 6.